Okay, we got a tweet today from @PezRadar, and it actually confirms the dates for the development team live stream and the campfire for the Diablo 4 team. So we're going to dive into that tweet, and I'm going to really take a deep dive into what was said in that tweet and what I feel it's going to mean for Diablo 4. I hope you'll stick around. We'll see you on the other side. Okay, so without further ado, here's the tweet. Tune into our next developer update live stream. I'm going to read the tweet and then we're going to do a deep dive into it. Okay, guys? Our next developer updates live stream arrives on October 4th at 11 a.m. PDT. It dives into the looming Season of Blood and many details on the quality of life updates first announced at Gamescom Opening Night Live 2023. Join members of the development team along with Associate Director of Community Adam Fletcher, who will unveil the vampiric scourge that has descended on Sanctuary and the sinister power they possess. Learn what it will take to fight against this rising tide of evil and harness the power of their potent blood for your own means. The developer update livestream also details many quality of life updates arriving throughout Season 2. The team will talk about community requested features such as additional stash space and functionality, improvements to dungeons, mounts, and much more. We'll also hold a segment at the end of the stream for players to field their questions directly to the team. Plus, on October 10th, we're having a Campfire Chat that will feature a deep dive on upcoming class balance changes and reworks to several in-game systems. And it basically ends by saying visit our official Diablo Twitch and YouTube channels to watch those two streams. We know both are going to be 2 hours long for a total of 4 hours. Now, I'm going to spend the rest of the video giving you my take on the wording of this tweet, what was said, and we're going to do a deep dive into some of the signs that I'm seeing on potentially what the October 4th and October 10th streams are going to look like. All right, so I'm going to slice this up in two sections. We're going to do the October developer update live stream and the October 10th campfire, okay? Because they're different. Now, regarding the October 4th one, I see it being a little bit light on the meat with meat on the bones. Sorry, light on the meat on the bones. And I'll explain why. And I'm gonna illustrate here with this chart what they mentioned in the tweet and what has already been mentioned. And follow along here, bear with me. I'm trying to show or highlight things that are new. Okay, so we all know they announced Season 2 very early, okay? And they announced things very early because the Titanic hit the iceberg, right? And they were sinking. So I'm assuming why they made such an early announcement of Season 2 and what was coming in Season 2 is because they kind of, wanted to get people back on the boat and entice people to, hey, guys, don't worry, everything's okay. So I'm trying to show you, is there anything additional that they've already announced that they're adding? So, okay, Sammy, why would you want to do that? I want to illustrate that because it shows that from the time they announced Season 2, which was a long time ago, till now, there's been a steady decline of the player base. Huge, right? Well, a lot of people are throwing it in my face that, and actually, a lot of people have used the term 94%, 95, 93% have left, right? So with that in mind, you would think they've now had time to come up with, okay, we got to do more than what we said, right? So they've had this time, and now today they make this announcement. And of course, we don't know everything they're going to discuss, and we won't know until it happens. However, there are some telling signs in this tweet. But going back to my original discussion or question about this, I want to show you, here's what they said originally, here's what this tweet is implying, and plus or minus, and what does that mean? I hope you follow. But that's basically the tone of the video today. So for the October 4th developer update, the live stream, they said they're going to dive into the looming season of Blood and many details on the quality of life updates first announced at Gamescom opening night live 2023. Well, here's the video, whichever way. Here's the video, and they were literally, and the audio I purposely muted because they literally were on stage for under 3 minutes, and all they discussed was they announced the voice actor for the vampiric person that's going to be accompanying us in season 2, and we'll get into a little bit of that. So really, this 2.5 minute conversation at Gamescom was about the voice actor, and then Rod Ferguson basically came on board and, you know, thanked her. She did a great job. I can't wait for everyone to hear her in the game and play alongside her, you know, that kind of thing. And then really he talked a lot, you know, very quickly. And then, of course, he did a sales pitch and said, you know what? Season 1's going on right now. It's not too late to jump on board. You know, everyone should go and try it. It's never too late, kind of thing. And really, not one mention of anything quality of life. This mentions many details on the quality of life updates first announced at Gamescom opening night live 2023. And this is the video of Diablo 4 on Open Night Live 2023. No mention of quality of life. So, you know, Rod spoke in generalities, didn't speak about specifics. He talked about seasons, and it's something that they were looking forward to doing many of them, you know, make the game viable for many, many years, that kind of thing. But they were on and off the stage in under 3 minutes. So I don't know what this first sentence is implying. We'll find out. Then they talk about the development team, along with Associate Director of Community Adam Fletcher, who will unveil the vampiric scourge that has descended on Sanctuary and the sinister power they possess. Learn what it will take to fight against the rising tide of evil and harness the power of their potent blood of your own means. So, as far as the season of Blood, we already know this, that we're going to be a vampire, okay? And we're going to be accompanied by this vampire person. Now, we fight alongside them, they fight alongside us, whatever. And basically, we're going to be vampires fighting against vampires. And then there's a historic boss that we fight. I would imagine it's at the end of the campaign. So this is all stuff we know, and it's nothing new. So believe me, when I see something in this tweet that is an addition to what they've already announced, I'll highlight it and talk about it. Okay? And basically, that's it as far as the Season of Blood storyline campaign. All right? So then the developer update live stream also details many quality of life updates arriving throughout season 2. I stopped and paused when I read that one word, throughout season 2, meaning a lot of these quality of life updates aren't going to be at the launch of season 2. They're going to be implemented throughout. If you take that literally, it means throughout, in stages, however you want to phrase it. So this is new to me because I thought the quality of life things that has already been highlighted or communicated on Season of Blood, the very first announcement, okay? And that was additional stash space and functionality. So gems no longer taking up inventory space, and the stash can be searched and filtered, okay? This is what was announced originally with Season of Blood, okay? Now, if there's more functionality stuff, they haven't said it or they didn't attach it to the communication literature on Season of Blood. But what I find very curious is the wording on the tweet throughout season 2. So, two things. You can take this negatively and say, oh my God, are you mean to tell me the search and filtering of the stash might not be there the launch of season 2? The gem no longer taking up inventory space, that's not going to be there for the beginning of season 2. Maybe one at the start and another one down the road. That's the negative way of taking it. The positive way, glass half full, is they have more than those two quality of life things. And that's why they're using the wording throughout. Okay? So this potentially could be extras. Okay? Because they've already talked about the two things I've highlighted right now, referencing quality of life. So if you're a negative person, you're like, oh my God, not only were you not getting anything new, but now the two things we're getting for quality of life are going to be staggered in season 2. If you're a positive person and glass is half full, you're like, oh my God, this means we're getting more than the gems no longer taking up inventory space and the stash can be searched and filtered. Awesome. So I was very curious to see that word throughout. So depending on what side of the fence you're on, you can either shake your head or be jumping up right now. So regarding the October the 4th developer update live stream, and improvements to dungeons, mounts, and much more. That part of the sentence is new. Nothing in reference to improving dungeons, mounts, and much more, whatever much more means. That was not communicated in the original Season of Blood communication, okay? There was no discussion about improvements to dungeons. Now, that's the good take on that. The bad take on that is they put improvements to dungeons, and that means it's tied to the new gear check process. I don't know. That's taking the glass is half full approach, okay? But if we want to be positive here, that part of the sentence, improvement to dungeons, mounts, and much more, that could be a good thing, okay? I can't see how much more improvements they can do to mounts other than the stuttering and getting stuck and crashing into walls and things, which they've already fixed a little bit. So regardless, any more improvements to the mounts can only be a good thing. Obviously, I can't talk to and much more part of that. That could be just another Blizzard pie in the sky. Let's make it sound good. But then when the live stream happens, and much more ends up being a goose egg, right? So time will tell. But improvement to dungeons, that piqued my curiosity. And again, it could be as simple as they're increasing the density even more. They're increasing the drop rate. Who knows? Oh, you know what would be a good one? No circling back. They gotta be addressing that, because that was a huge complaint. So it could be simple stuff like that. My problem with, if those are the fixes, it still doesn't address the core issue. And I'm going to get into that later on. Okay. So far for the October 4th developer update live stream, wow. Unless the much more is earth shattering, look out Twitter and Reddit, man. And let me give you my quick synopsis here, or my thoughts. To me, everything is so sensitive right now with Diablo 4, like literally shaking, right? The player base is mad, shaking mad, right? And many have said, see ya, and they don't care. They do not care what's going to happen on these October 4th and October 10th, now that we know the dates, okay? They don't care. And there's the other side that they're highly anticipating, please, Blizzard, please fix this game. I want to come back. So with that in mind, these two live streams, and I said this in a prior video, this is make or break, in my opinion. Make or break. So you have two opportunities to turn the ship around here. And the first one, I think, is critical, because if you don't, you might not have to hit it out of the park, but you got to at least get a triple here. If I'm going to make a reference to baseball, this has to be a triple. It cannot be a single. It better not be a walk or a strikeout. Then, God. But the first one has to be good. It has to entice. It has to capture the player base that they've lost. And my fear in reading this is, I think this is going to be a single, maybe a double. The only thing that tears apart my opinion is the and much more. But it's, I don't know. Time will tell. I don't want to dwell on it too much. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the and much more is going to be and much more, right? But I'm being honest. I told myself when I started this channel, I was going to be myself, honest, direct, professional, respectful. And I'm being honest with you guys. That was my initial reaction, was this is kind of underwhelming. Like, I don't know if this is going to like have a good reaction after the live stream, but time will tell. Now, we get to the October 10th Campfire Chat, and that's when they really get down to the nitty gritty, right? Like, they talk about the specifics and the classes and you know, the in-game, that kind of stuff, right? They get into the nuts and bolts. So they're doing a deep dive on an upcoming class balance changes. Now, the negative side of me, you know, the little devil here, says, okay, that was already announced with the Season of Blood communication. What did they announce? They announced status effects. So vulnerability, overpower, crit strike, damage, we're going to get updated. We relied so much on vulnerability, crit, overpower, and everyone hated it. So they're obviously going to balance the rest of the damage, right? So that's the status effects, which they announced with Season of Blood communication. The other status effect was the update of there's going to be an update on the elemental resistance systems, right? So again, something that has already been announced. So that specifically doesn't mention those two things, which they've already announced, but I can see, again, the devil talking. Okay, that's nothing new. You've already announced it. The halo over my head guy on this shoulder is saying, well, you know what? Deep dive on upcoming class balance changes. That's a vague statement and really could go down a lot of roads. So this guy is saying, great, that's a great opportunity to talk about all the things they're doing with the class balances, right? So time will tell. So reworks to several in-game systems. So this guy says, okay, they've already said that. 5 endgame bosses, new and returning foes for additional endgame challenges, better target farming of uniques and uber uniques. These are items that were announced with the Season of Blood communication and ties into reworking of several in-game systems. Okay, so this person's like, crap, man, that's nothing new. This guy is saying, well, reworks to several in-game systems. Yep, that definitely ties to what they've already communicated, but it could also mean a lot of other things. So what are some examples that they could do to really knock it out of the park here, or get a triple, going back to the baseball reference? Reworks to several in-game systems. Crafting. The cost of respecking. It's way too friggin' expensive. You can't you can respec in this game. You can't respec 2, 3, 4 times. It'll take you a couple of months to get all the gold. You can do it, but it'll take you forever to do it. You can't respec every other week. Not that I'm saying you should be able to. And to be honest with you, I haven't really given it a thought on, like right now it's too crazy, 8, 9, 10 million gold to respec. That's ridiculous. Okay. But there has to be a happy medium. But my point is that is something that they could address real easy, and it would appease the player base big time. The Paragon board and our abilities, right? That could be enhanced and fixed, improved. Like, make it meatier, and like I said, the crafting. So these are some of the things that have not been communicated in the original communication that I believe would appease the player base. Now, not mentioned in these tweets, but mentioned in the communication of Season of Blood, was the renown rewards, and the topic of which reward carries over, right? So basically your renown rewards, which speaks to which rewards carry over if you've completed them in any prior character beyond Altars of Lilith and map discovery, right? And which also includes, and this was part of the announcement with Season of Blood, potion charges, skill points, obol cap upgrades, and paragon points are transferred over, right? As long as you completed a character with those things. And I did a video on this, and this is the one you can go check out, which explains that in greater detail. Okay, so real talk. My initial reaction to this tweet, and I'm keeping it real, is I walked away after reading that thinking that's an underwhelming topic list. Now, I grant you, they're not going to put all the meat and potatoes in the tweet. I understand that, right? But we know, I've said this in many videos of mine, the past is a good indicator of the future. And there's not too many instances where Blizzard said something and then blew us out of the water, right? Like, they gave us more than what they talked about. It's actually been the other way around. They tell us and build us up this huge story, and then the delivery is way lower than what they hyped it up to be. So if the past is an indication of the future in this case, I have to say I'm not feeling good right now. But I hope I'm wrong. Because I really do believe this game's going to get fixed. I really do. To be, like, keeping it real, guys, my only concern, and I've said this before, my only concern is not if. My only concern is when. Right? And to me, the when is critical, because a lot of people seem to think this game's going to be fixed season 4, season 5. And they may be right. But in my opinion, that's too goddamn late. Because, guys, do you not see the sentiment right now of everyone? It's getting worse and worse. And it's open season. Like, rumors are coming out. And you got to dig into it. And I got people coming in the comments with all this different takes and rumors and all this kind of stuff. And why? Because this stuff is festering and people have time to think because nothing's happening. And when people start thinking, they start grasping at far-fetched things. But the main thing about if this is really going to be fixed, not until season 4, season 5, again, we've talked about this. And I know people hate when I bring up other games, but I'm sorry. These two games are constantly compared to each other. And you know what game? I don't even have to tell you the game. You know what game I'm talking about, right? They're going to have a live beta next summer. We all saw the demos, the live demonstrations at their event. It looks amazing. And this might not be a popular choice. It's a game that's come closer to the style and feel of Diablo 4. Now, the diehards of that game will crucify me for that comment, right? Because they don't want, I'm going to say it, they don't want Path of Exile to be compared to Diablo 4 or even look and feel like Diablo 4 because they feel Path of Exile is superior. But one of the things GGG has said is they want to, slow the game down. And when I mean slow the game down, I don't mean to a grinding halt. But, this light show with, if everyone's played Path of Exile, and I'm sure many of you have, it's a light show when your character is killing enemies, right? They kind of want to, dumb down the screen. I'm sorry, that might be a poor choice of words, but I think you guys know what I'm saying. So if season 4, season 5 is the time frame for these guys to fix the game, we're into that beta testing. And again, I've said this before, GGG doesn't do it like Blizzard, where in the beta we only got Act 1. When they do betas, people have access to the whole game. They like to test the whole game. So I don't know, man. Playing with fire. Okay, everyone. Well, that'll do it. So it's official. The 2-hour, total 4-hour live stream in Campfire confirmed October 4th and October 10th. I would definitely tune in. We're going to find out a lot. And God, I hope my take on this tweet is so far off that I'm going to have to issue an apology. Because as you guys all know, that for those of you that watch my content, I'm a fan of this game, not in its current state. But when I mean by I'm a fan of this game, I'm a fan of this game because I want to see it fixed. I want to play it for many years. I want to talk about it for many years because I do believe it has an amazing foundation. But only time will tell. So anyway, thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. And hey, give me your take on the video, the contents, what I discussed, my takes. Did I miss anything? I would love to hear your feedback. And like I always say in my videos, your comments are very educational to me. I learn a lot. So thank you for those of you that take the time to comment. So please provide your feedback. I would really appreciate it on what we talked about today. And as always, if you could please like, comment, and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. And as always, hopefully, we'll see you next time. Take care.